Right, welcome to the very first Brand It Essex podcast. We're going to be joined by various companies, different brands, suppliers, and we're today joined by Jenna from Teejays. She is the UK brand ambassador for Teejays. Jenna, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're my first guest, and I'm so grateful to have you here.
Trial guest.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I'd love to know a little bit about your role in the company, how you got involved. Where did it all begin?
Where did it begin? Well, I've been in this industry now for some time. I used to work for a multi-brand distributor.
Right.
And Teejays was one of those brands that we took on. It's been in the UK now for 10 years.
Lovely.
Obviously, I was selling many different brands, your basic brands to mid to premium. And the thing that I just loved about Teejays was the clothing, selling something that's more added value to businesses. And it's always better feeling like you can be part of something that you genuinely believe in as well and that you genuinely like. We all know how easy it is to sell something that you like rather than
100%,
this is okay.
100%.
But you can feel a bit more passionate about it. You can project yourself with confidence. So I suppose that was part of the attraction. And back then they didn't have any representation here in the UK, so it was quite a nice challenge to, I suppose, pick up that flag from Denmark and put it through the UK and get a bit more traction here by having that UK contact.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely get that because when we first started, it was we tried copying what everyone else did, and it was all about the race to the bottom price with cheap products. And then it was only when we started finding our feet with premium products, we'd sort of find stuff that I like to wear, I like to try on. Yeah. And it is different. Yeah. It's very different. If you're talking about a product that you genuinely can get behind because you like the way it fits and feels, it makes it so much easier to talk about it. It
takes it into more of a personal experience, I would say. So I've said in the past, instead of getting up for work and, I don't know, you're supplying workwear uniform, for instance, there's always this mentality I've seen with, more cheaper uniform. Oh, I've got to put my workwear on today. Where I think putting something on that you would personally go and buy at retail quality, that you would go and buy on the weekend, or you would wear it down to the pub after work, and it's not an issue. You don't have to go home and get changed. It's quite nice to have, like I said, it's something that you would choose to wear, but you're feeling better about yourself. Like I said, you're projecting with confidence. You feel the part, I suppose, and I think that just makes you, I don't know, a mentality of being better in yourself with how you're presenting yourself at work. Yeah,
100%. And do you know much about the story of the background of Teejays, how Teejays come about?
Yeah, so Teejays were originally established in America, in Alabama, in 1976 by a chap called Terry. And Peter, who now currently is the owner of the business, his father George actually started working with Terry on the European sales side of things. And over many years they formed quite a strong bond and became friends. And as time went on, Terry came to retirement, wanted to retire. And George then, Terry helped George take the business over and move it to Denmark in the early 2000s.
Oh, so they moved it from America to... Right, I didn't realise. I thought it started there. So, incredible.
So no, like I said, we started off where the soft tee, which is our kind of registered trademark in a way.
Staple.
The staple, where it started. And still in our collection today, and one of our best sellers today, actually. The soft tee, moved over to Denmark. And since then, Peter obviously took on the business from George, and we're now left with, this kind of collection and been formed to what Teejays is seen as today.
Nice. And Peter's still massively involved in the company, isn't he?
Peter's still massively involved, the genius behind the brand, I suppose, and the flair for the creativeness. And we now right across Europe, we distribute right across Europe and through obviously our homeland in Denmark and Sweden as well.
Do you still send to America? Is that still a client for them?
I think the dream will always do to go back to America, I think, for Peter. But but obviously at the moment our expansion is focusing on our distribution model across UK and Europe.
Okay, so in your mind, what sort of makes Teejays different from other, not just brands, but maybe some of the premium brands? You and I know a lot of what makes them different from the cheap stuff, but there's obviously other premium brands out there that you can compare to, is there?
I think the bigger difference is, obviously, being premium, we're very conscious about our fabrics that we choose. We're conscious about the construction of the product itself. We add a lot more processes into that product, so it's about longevity being our main sustainable message.
Yep.
We do a lot of organic fabrics, you use a lot of recycled polyesters, but longevity really is kind of the focus when we're talking a sustainability aspect.
The product actually just lasting longer on the
lasting
wearer.
Much longer. But I think taking that as a kind of your step onto what Teejays is about, it's really the full collection that we offer. So we don't kind of target one area or another. It's all about trying to offer, we call it the full working wardrobe. So it's tees, polos, sweats. Then we go into sportswear and corporate wear, right through to Italian merino knitwear. And then we start in your layering products with your jackets, right up to a full technical waterproof jacket.
Yeah.
So we do kind of offer every industry a collection to start using Teejays, and rather than it being kind of segmented into corporate wear or workwear, no, we can do sportswear, we can do gym wear. So it's like I said, it's offering that full range. And obviously we've recently just offered or launched our label free in January this year, so that's another element that we've added into the collection. So we can look at kind of our fashion streams, we've added brighter colours into it, offering private label experience. So again, that's a whole nother market that we can now bolt on to what we can offer. So I think the variation at a premium level, I think, is kind of one of our biggest selling points. Yes, you can come to us, yes, we're premium, and there are other brands that offer premiums, but a lot of them are quite capsuled, where we can say the main product range is right across at your premium level. So I do think that's one of the big differences, and all of our products are stocked here as a full collection as well.
Yeah, there's great selections available. Yeah. I mean, your new label free range is already proving to be quite popular. We've already done quite a lot internally with the Urban Luxury Tee.
Yeah.
I've done a review video on it already. It's one of my favourites. One of the things that really stands out to me with the Urban Luxury Tee is it's got some great length in it as well. So the first guy that actually bought this off me, I think, was 6'7". So it was a nice tall guy, and it fitted him perfectly, and it was nice to sort of be able to offer that to somebody who come in. But I mean, what's the concept behind label free? Because to some people that don't know, where'd the whole idea come? What was you trying to do with the market? What was the plan behind it? Or
well, Teejays has always kind of sold itself on the value of the label to a degree, and when you're entering into a market, it's obviously all about brand identity. And with Teejays, it did hold the value in having our label put into a lot of the product range, and wasn't really at the time, I think, as introduced, a necessity for that label not to be there. I think as the market has diversified, there's a lot more industries now that are looking for rebranding.
Yep.
So it is looking at labels launching their own brands, and obviously a label then sewn in is not going to be suitable for that market. But also, I think part of it, not just only being label free, it was having a different fit, a different feel, and then that offered us other options in adding in different colours. So again, it was taking a different slant on what Teejays is currently known for. You talked about the fit as an example.
Yeah.
So we do many different fits, and generally we would say the brand's quite a tailored fit, where here it gave us an option to kind of play around with what's in fashion and what's in line at the moment. For many years, we've been requested by own labels to say, we really want to use Teejays, we really want to use it, we want a premium level brand, we want something different to be rebranding, but obviously the label stopped that from happening. So it was really kind of taking that research, and as we're going through, large expansion plans at the moment, that was a great time then for us to introduce that as part of an added expansion. So, like I said, it's a different capsule range, different fit, different colours, and then attracting another part of the market that maybe we couldn't use some of our current range for.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some great standout products in that, and there's some fantastic colours in there which weren't necessarily available before. Now, with these, your T-shirts are very quickly becoming our go-to T-shirt. In fact, we created a premium bundle about 4 years ago now, and we are actually about to relaunch it ever so slightly. Same 5 T-shirts, same 2 hoodies, same gilet, but we're actually switching the T-shirt out for the soft tee.
Brilliant.
So we're actually relaunching it as the upgraded. We're not adding any cost to it, but we're offering a better product. And the soft tee has quickly become probably our biggest selling T-shirt, whether that be the normal soft tee or the fashion soft tee. It's been one that people go to and they love. The actual soft tee has got some fantastic colours in it. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to know a bit more about the soft tee. I mean, we do. What's your thoughts on it and the fashion soft tee? What's your thoughts on the 2 items that we're sort of introducing to our bundle now?
Well, obviously, mentioning before, the soft tee is an iconic style for Teejays. It was our starting point. And obviously, as time goes on, we're always improving the product. So we do just run them through. So we're constantly looking at how we can improve the product. But for me, I think the soft tee, for a Teejays, for someone who hasn't used Teejays before, it's a great starting point. Because when you are comparing that level of product with other levels or premium or higher ends in a mid-level, from a pricing point of view, it's not too far away. So it's quite a good entry point to start using Teejays. The fit of the product as well, it's quite similar to your classical T-shirt fit that is offered through other brands. So again, you've just got a little bit more durability with that product. Everything in the range as minimum anyway is double dyed, so it's going to get through the wash a lot longer. Everything's double stitched, so you're adding strength to the product. We put full neck tapes in, so again, it's just all designed to have the product last much longer. And with the soft tee, where the name comes from, you can feel the type of fabric. We've got that slight brush on the fabric. So again, from a comfortable point of view, it's a nice product to actually wear against the skin as well. So like I said, it's quite a good starting point with Teejays and a good all-rounder. And we do the men's and ladies equivalents as well. So
to be honest, it's been an easy sell for us to sort of, when we reel them off, and you're saying you've got the double stitched, you've got the double dyed and the double pre-shrunk as well, am I right?
Double pre-shrunk,
and I think there is 60-degree wash, they say on them.
That's correct,
so there's some fantastic features there that weren't with the previous T-shirt that we offered. So for me, it was obvious. An obvious choice to move it. And the best part was there was a couple of fit options. And of course, in the normal soft tee, there's that fantastic length, which makes all the difference for us. So a couple of other popular T-shirts in this is the Interlock. It's actually the one I'm wearing today. This is one of my favourite T-shirts. Now, anyone from around this area, from around Chelmsford area, I always say if you've been in Chelmsford town, there's a shop called Zagger. It's a nice high-end designer store. It would not look out of place in there. Another place in Colchester called Bacchus. Again, it wouldn't look out of place in there. That's what sort of drew me to it. I think the fit is fantastic. It's slightly thicker. What have I missed? It's an incredible product. Like I live in. To be fair, I live in half of these. It depends what mood I'm in as a fit. But what?
It's funny because whenever I introduce Teejays to anybody and they've not seen Teejays before, I will always show the soft tee and the Interlock tee, because the Interlock by far is my favourite T-shirt because it is so unusual, and I don't believe that there is another T-shirt that you can buy in wholesale like the Interlock T-shirt. It's a 220 gram, so it's quite heavy. But it's a really fine cotton that we use, and the cotton is so finely woven together that it actually doesn't feel too thick at the same time.
It's very stretchy, very comfortable.
So a lot of people think that there's elastane or lycra in the product when they feel the fabric, but there's not. It's 100% organic cotton. So, like I said, nice on the skin as well from a breathable point of view. But the fit is a completely different fit altogether. So I would describe that as a lot more tailored. So we add further length to the body. You've got your nice split hem detailing at the bottom as well. And then you've got this really nice double rib on the neck, which I would describe as more of a retail neckline than what you'd get in the softy or your traditional promotional workwear t-shirt. As you can see here, a little bit more fitted around your sleeves as well. So again, I just think the uniqueness of that product being so much more of a retail look is quite a nice attraction to have that within the wholesale market, and that comes in our full colour palette as well, 22 different colours.
There's some fantastic colours.
So yeah,
Cement's my new favourite colour.
Yes,
it's my new favourite colour.
Cement, it's been really popular actually. Really popular since January for that launch. But again, neutrals. I mean, we do quite a lot of different neutrals or earthy tones, I would say. And the good thing about these types of colours, you can put kind of any type of coloured logo on them, but it's something a bit different from black and navy. So you know, it's not too worrying what type of colours that you're using with it. No, it's
fantastic. It's been my favourite t-shirt. I mean, if I'm honest, there's several that I wear from your range. I wear the Interlock, I wear the Fashion Fit Soft Tee, which is similar sort of fit on the shoulders and chest, but it's got it's slightly lighter weight. I wear a lot of that. I've worn the Luxury t-shirt before, which I would love to, actually, off the cuff here, what's the main difference between the Luxury and the Urban Luxury, with the exception of the label missing? Is there a difference, or is it just a label-free version?
No, the fit is slightly different onto it as well. And we do have a bit of a fabric mix in the Luxury tee.
Right.
So the Urban Luxury is 100% organic.
The
actual Urban range that we launched is actually fully organic mixed with recycled polyester. So if you look at the sweats in that range as well, all of them are made with recycled polyester or an organic cotton mix. So that one really was just to kind of have that whole selection. The other difference with that selection is it's a fully unisex one, where majority of what we offer through the catalogue, we offer a men's and ladies fit, but we're seeing a lot more now where ladies are using a men's or a unisex rather than a ladies. So we're still keeping that options in with our current collection, but with the Urban it is very much more of a unisex, and we've then expanded the sizing range to accommodate for that as well. Yeah,
the unisex thing, I'm not going to lie, when I first started this, I didn't get, because I just assumed that a unisex wouldn't fit male and female.
Right.
And no, it sounds like you think you want a t-shirt that's going to fit well, but then you put it on and it's actually amazing how well they fit. Like, it's honestly, it's weird. Like, I had to look past it.
I think it's a total personal preference with unisex. I mean, I'm quite a tall person, so I would tend to, 9 times out of 10, have a male small hoodie rather than having a female, because I just prefer to have that kind of extra length because I am built the way I'm built. But I think generally how fashion has gone, certainly in the younger generation at the moment, is a lot more oversized. It's not really kind of a skin-on-skin fit, so I think that market is at its peak, I suppose, with a unisex type of fit as it stands today. But what we do, like I said, we do put the extra sizing in when it's a unisex. So if you are still looking, you're a woman, you're looking for that little bit more of a fitted look, then you still have that option with the smaller sizing. Smaller sizing in play. So
with the oversized stuff. So I actually wear, I remember when you brought this into me, the stretch loose fit tee. Sorry, the loose fit tee. Now when you brought that in, colder months, I've been wearing sort of thick, I've been wearing oversized hoodies and things. I've actually started wearing that t-shirt a lot. I've got my big design across the chest. Like, I'll go out and that's kind of my go-to t-shirt, because a little bit more relaxed. It's just sort of comfortable, and you know, if you're working downstairs, it just sort of works. So I'm a big fan of that t-shirt as well. Now, another product which I think we have to mention has got to be the Luxury Stretch Polo.
Yeah.
The 1405.
Yeah.
Now, we did, one of your stockists introduced me to that product 2 years ago, maybe. And he brought in a couple of products, showed me the polo. I loved it, started wearing it. I did a video on it. I then spoke to yourself. We then went at it a bit harder. I actually did a re-review of that polo, and it's exactly the same polo, like the one from my wardrobe, not the same colour. It was the one I'd worn for a year.
Yeah.
Fantastic product. I've still got it in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about that polo? That is my now go-to polo. When people come in and say they want a polo, I'm like, this is the one you want.
Yeah.
We don't even muck around with it.
No.
We're like, this is the one you want. And
by far, the Luxury Stretch Polo is the staple of Teejays.
Yeah.
It is our best-selling product.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, is it?
Best-selling product.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
easy to understand why.
Catalogue, the Luxury Stretch, and it's there a lot then where our development goes into.
Yeah.
But it is, for me, it's just a bulletproof polo. Again, coming into, you can use it for workwear, but you have that retail look, that retail quality, that retail element about it. So it's totally taking a traditional workwear polo to a totally different level. Looking at your fabric with the product, you've got one here, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a couple. So you've got the men's and the women's there.
So looking at the fabric with the product, so we class this as a mini PK. Yeah. So it's a much, much finer knit than what you get in a traditional polo. If you compare this against a traditional, you'll see that the holes are much bigger with this. So you've got that really nice fine knit, which you get then this lovely decoration, great for decoration on the top. 22 different colours, 95% organic cotton, 5% elastane. And it's the elastane that really gives the durability element to this product. So it's wash, wear, retains its shape, retains its colour. And as we've mentioned before, everything's double dyed, everything's double stitched. You have your reinforcements on the neck here, a little bit more tailored. And what we mean by tailored, just to touch on that, it doesn't mean skin on skin. It's not a skinny fit. What it means is that the way we construct the product is to fit the cylinder shape, an actual human being, rather than putting two pieces of fabric together, sewn up the sides, which we call like a flat design. And you can really see it with this product. When you lie it flat onto the table, it actually won't lie completely flat. And it's because you'll see where it stands up, allowing for the curvature to go under the arms. And it just adds that another element of comfort to the product as well. Bit more of your retail design. Again, you've got your split hem detail in here at the bottom. So this is just the little points of attention. And again, that's Teejays all over. The little points of attention that elevate the product, that elevate the brand, that makes it a far shy cry away from your basic polo.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is durability with the product, and it's having, like I said, a nice retail look, while still, using it for workwear.
Yeah, I actually had a client come to me who was after nice polos, and he said he'd looked everywhere, tried all sorts. We introduced him to that, and that is his go-to polo. And it's not just for him. He's got a team of guys. They all wear that. Yeah. And I guarantee they all look the part on site.
It's a cool polo.
Yeah.
And we twist that then in different ways. So when we do have these bestsellers, we've got the long sleeve. Nice thing about the long sleeve, we've got a really nice cuff on the bottom, so quite smart. We also do a tipped variation, and then we also do a variation where it drops the buttons completely. So we've got a V-neck. Yeah. So it's all modelled using the same fabric, the same fit. We just change the look of it. Again, depending on what industry or what personal preference. But you've got a really good kind of selection in using the Luxury Stretch Polo. But like I said, #1 selling product for us. I'd like to think you can see why it is about the touch and feel of that product. Yeah,
everyone that takes it loves it. Yeah. And like I said, I've still got the same polo in that colour sitting upstairs in my wardrobe from the first video I did. And Yeah, it'll be 2 years ago in the summer. It'll be so.
I'd probably say it's one of the main pieces of feedback we get. I've been into visits, I don't know, 2 years later, and they'll say like, I've got a black polo on, and it's still black as what it was when I first bought it. And again, it's going back to the longevity of the product. It's not fading. The fabrics are not bubbling. And again, it's just elevating it.
Yeah, there's no bobbling at all. There's no bobbling at all. I mean, that goes on to something that comes up in industries all the time, and sometimes you can't tell what it's going to do until you physically got it. But we don't have that problem with any of these products, and they're just they've been really fantastic for us. An easy sale for when people come in. Now, we had one of your suppliers come to us initially, like I said, with Polo, showed us it, fantastic. But it wasn't until you came in to see me and show me the range that we sort of really got a feel for it. So first of all, thank you for coming to us and choosing us to sort of help represent the brand, because we like to work closely with brands. We sort of try and narrow it down to a few. We want to focus on the premium. We don't want to focus on the cheaper stuff. We want to go for stuff that's going to last, give people the best impressions, things like that. So thank you for picking us to sort of represent that. You've been incredible with.
Thank you.
we've anyone that's come in will know that we've got displays in here like this one. We've got samples everywhere. So yeah, massive thank you to that. I mean, so one of the other things that you've helped us do is you've helped us with improving the size range that we've got in here. So I'd said to Jenna that I really wanted to offer people the full size experience. I wanted you to come in and go, I'm a small, I need a smalls try on, and then you can try the range. Like you've helped us with smalls to 3XLs in the showroom now, and that's not just in the soft tee. We've got that in the polos, we've got that in the interlocks, we've got it in the collection. I think we've even got it in the hoodies and a few other bits. It's something that we're working on continuously. Now, when it comes to these premium brands and these premium products, do you think it's important to be able to give people the experience where they can come and see it and try it on? I mean, it's something that I've always thought, people touching, I want that. Yeah. And what's your thoughts on that? Is it something that you sort of experienced in your...
100%. I always think that when I spoke previously in the past, when people struggle to sell premium, I always say the best way of being able to sell a premium product is to show them. Yeah. Because it speaks volumes. It speaks for itself. The product will speak for itself. And it is about the touch, the feel, the fabric. And it's so hard, it's so difficult to get that across in a catalogue or on a website. You can't. We can do great imagery, but to actually feel and touch the product and have that experience is essential when you are demanding, a little bit more for a premium end product. And it's having that kind of mental justification of why I'm then going to buy or I'm going to invest, because that's what it is. It's investment at the end of the day. 100%. It's the same with anything that we buy. If we're going to buy cheap, we know we're probably going to have to buy that again in a short space of time. So it's an investment, and it's valuing the investment, whether you're kitting out a team, whether you're kitting out your members of staff for workwear as an example, or whether it's your own business and you want to project how you are in projecting in your own business outwards. So to be able to come in and to be able to touch, feel the products, I really think straight away that kind of element of should I invest goes straight away, because it's an automatic yes when you can feel better, because the price difference of what you are paying from cheaper to a premium isn't just the price of cash. It's the price of, again, your mentality and the projection of how you feel about something. And I almost think that's a bit priceless in a way when you are looking at what the difference is in the cost of a product, because it isn't just the product, it's about how it makes you feel as a
100%.
person. And then can you put a price on that sometimes?
It's literally the message we put out all the time.
It's like, I want to feel good about myself today. And okay, this isn't going to be the be all and everything of what you do, but is it going to be an added element to how positive you can be and how you can 100%. Be a better person. Yeah, for sure it does.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I'm not saying you've got to be vain by any means, but have you just got to feel that little bit better about yourself? You know, all those elements put together, I think and that's where it comes into, like, you know, going back to your original point, coming in, touching, feel, fitting, you know, because we do a lot of different fits. We aren't one size standard.
That's what we like about the t-shirts.
Fits, and it all depends on your body shape and, you know, are you a bit shorter, are you a bit taller, and okay then, and it's also adding that consultative basis to your offering as a provider of workwear. You know, it's not just about, I can buy off your website. Yes, you can once you know, but you're adding a bit more of a consultation. What's the functionality of the product? You know, are you going to be moving around a lot? Are you going to need a little bit more flexibility in the product? Are you going to be needing, you know, stretch panels because you're, you know, not sat at an office, or you know? So again, it's offering the consultative way or the consultative approach.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's one of them things that we talk about all the time. So we'll tell people that. It's not just how you feel wearing the stuff. If you can kit your team out in it, they're going to feel happier. Like there's a lot of team morale boost that comes from wearing something that feels nice. Like you feel part of the company. You feel like you've been looked after. People work better when they're happier, and it goes a long way. And with the t-shirts, I mean, I always found that the t-shirts was actually the easy intro into premium workwear. I mean, you guys do, like you said, you do everything from t-shirts to jumpers and hoodies. You do outerwear. We do outerwear jackets from other brands and other things. And I always found that the t-shirts were, unless you're talking really cheap, it was kind of like the nice, easy intro into some premium stuff. Because if you was to go into a shop and buy a t-shirt for yourself to wear on a normal day, you don't even have to go in a designer store to pay 20, 30, 40 pounds. You don't need to go to a luxury store. So why are people insistent on buying t-shirts that are rubbish? That they're going to be in 5-6 days a week? Like it's, I think t-shirts and it makes such a difference. It does make such a difference. It really does. I know I feel great when I wear the products, and to be honest, people come in and they'll message me afterwards and they're like, best work we've ever had. Best work we've ever had. And it comes down to them coming in here and trying on the stuff. So it's great. It makes so much sense.
And like I said, value to your teams as well. Like, you know, people want to work for the business. You know, it's it's feeling valued, isn't it? And if your business can give you, you know, great workwear or whatever it is you're using it for, you feel valued by them as well. It's not just, you know, it's a projection, again, like I said, a projection of the business, but it's a projection of yourself. And it's also, if you're feeling valued by your business, you will naturally work harder. You know, is it that one more call I'm going to do, or, you know, am I going to work past 5 o'clock even though I'm meant to be clocking off? I am, because I feel valued by the business, and, you know, that's not going to be a question mark. So, like I said, it's a greater effect, really. It's kind of like the radar of what happens. And I know it sounds really silly when you talk about it like that, but actually, you know, the bigger picture can be something as crucial as that.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's your company, you don't quite get it. Everybody has an outfit or something that they wear at home that they put it on and they go, I look good.
You know, Friday night,
I look good.
Make a bit of effort.
But why can't you feel like that 7 days a week?
Exactly.
And if you feel that happiness from it, then why can't you feel that 7 days a week? So that's kind of what we try and do. And like you said, it helps when the products also last longer, wash better. Like I said, I've got Polo, been 2 years. Why can't clothes last?
Investment.
Exactly. So it is exactly that. Now, we obviously love what you guys do. We like working closely with Teejays and the brand. How do you see the sort of company and everything we're doing evolving next? What's like the next steps, do you think, that sort of going to be coming? Is there anything
for Teejays?
Yeah, for Teejays, because I like to try and get ahead of the curve. I like to try and work out what my next moves are. You know, we sort of want to lock in with brands and make sure that we're always there representing, but at the forefront of everything. So,
well, as we've already mentioned, so we launched the new Urban collection, new label-free collection for January. So most likely we'll be looking at adding to that. We always add new colours every year anyway, so we always kind of jazz up by adding a couple of new colours. And that's not just into Urban collection, we also add that into our best sellers across our range. But we are going to have a few new additions for September, for fall. So we are going to have a new jacket coming. We are going to be expanding to some of our current range as well, just to make it a bit more accessible in different areas. So a few new colours in certain products. So we are going to have a bit of a rustle up in September. So you'll definitely get to hear about that probably end of July,
Is this exclusive
August.
information?
Yeah, it's not
Is it
too far
exclusive
away.
so far?
Not too far away.
Nice.
And then we'll have obviously new added lines in January.
Yep.
I think we're going to have a few new unique styles is what I would say. But again, it's about what Teejays is. You know, we have a consistent kind of range that's, you know, pumps out the door every day, but then we'll always add just a little bit of, you know, difference, I suppose, point of difference, talking point, something that is attractive. Might not be used every single day on, you know, in workwear, but it just kind of gives the look and nice added uniqueness to the range. So yes, always pumping ahead. We're always having new products coming. So that is quite exciting. And I quite like the fact that we do always add the fall stuff as well, because that lifts us then for autumn and winter, where we're not talking from t-shirts, we're then kind of concentrating into the layered products.
Yeah, because there's a big focus on sort of t-shirts this time of year. I mean, we actually find that people start talking about polyesters and cool tees and things like that, and that's kind of where things go. And like I said, you've got a sporty sort of polyester tee in there as well. So we actually do quite a lot of those, even for people on site. They'll come in and they'll get a cool tee, something like that. So that
lighter layers as well. We've got lighter sweats,
lighter t-shirts,
your body warmers, you know, thick, but we have got like the thinner versions of them. So it's not just, it is all spring summer at the moment. Apparently May the 1st was the official first start of summer, or it used to be the first start of summer? I heard it on the radio this morning.
No, I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's gone. The weather's gone back the other way today after all the nice weather we had in the last few weeks. Okay, perfect. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming in.
It's okay.
It's great. First podcast done, out of the way. We'd definitely like to have you back at some point. We'd like to go over some different products. Maybe we'll look at some
new stuff.
Maybe we'll look at some of the fall products that when they come out and revisit this. But I just wanted to thank everybody for watching. We'd love to know in the comments what you thought, and if there's anybody you'd like us to film or see. Please make sure that you like and subscribe so that we can keep growing and keep putting out more great content.